Hi, welcome to CNY Woman Knits and Crochets. I'm Mindy, your hostess, otherwise known as Knitter CNY. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new to the podcast, welcome in. If you like what you see, subscribe below, hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, all the normal things that I say. I'm going to turn on the light a little bit, give us a little bit more overhead lighting. It is sunny out. It is snowed here. We are going to have a white Christmas. Today is the 24th of December, 2024. This is going to be a WIP session. I thought for those of you who are celebrating alone, you might need a little company for a little while. I find these WIP sessions good to catch up on things. And I'm going to show you one project I'm working on, and then I've got another project in reserve to work on. I can always switch back to this first project if I feel like it. The project here is out of puzzle yarn. Not a surprise. You're going to say, I bet it's a corner-to-corner blanket. We've seen enough of those. It's a corner-to-corner blanket. This color of Premier Puzzle is called Trivia, I believe. Yes, it is called Trivia. You can see all the beautiful colors there. I'm using a size K hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter hook. And I am about halfway through one skein. I usually take 2.5 skeins to make a baby blanket that's 36 by 36 for Project Linus. I won't be dropping off blankets until March because the coordinator for our area is taking off for, I believe, knee surgery. But she's taking off for surgery. So that project can go down right here. What I have been working on for the last few days, and I say probably the last 5 days, because I think that 4 to 5 days, is out of this yarn, which is Lion brand 2 of 1s, Hue and Me. This color is called Tara. It is a number 5 bulky weight. It comes 4.4 ounces, 125 grams, 137 yards, 125 meters. Recommends a 10.5 knitting needle or K hook, and that's 6.5 millimeters, and it is a 20% acrylic, 80% acrylic, 20% wool. And this was on sale for $3.99 at Joann's. I don't know if it's still on sale. And it was, and I had 20% off coupon on top of that. So I bought myself 8 skeins. I may only use 7 because the last skein is off in color. It's darker than the rest of them. If I do use it, I will have to use it in the ribbing at the very bottom. What I'm making is a top-down cardigan. I finished the sleeves and I finished the top ribbing. This cardigan looks really good. As you can see, the sleeves are completely done. It works up fast because it is a number 5 bulky weight. You do the buttonholes as you knit along, and there is a little bit of purling in this edge detail. I'm going to kind of edge detail. There is a little bit of purling in there. There is purling in the ribbing, but basically it's a really super easy sweater. It's the top-down cardigan knit, pattern 1194 from Lion brand. It is free on their website. It originally called for Woolly's Chunky, and that yarn is discontinued. It was the same makeup in fiber content as Hue and Me, but it was from about 10 or 15 years ago. They discontinued that yarn. If you go in, there's a little box under everything that says yarn substitutions, and it recommends Hue and Me. And what it'll do if you click on where it says Hue and Me, it'll change the count for the number of skeins, and you can put in what size you want to make, and it'll tell you how many skeins you need. So that comes out really good. It's an oversized sweater. I can tell you that, having made it twice before. So I am actually making, I was going to make a 1X. Then I looked at the finished measurements and I was like, I don't want it that big. So I'm making a size large, which is okay. I'm going to probably make it longer from the arm, from the bottom of the armpits all the way down, because I like my sweaters a little longer. They were saying 14 and a half inches for that size. I usually like my sweater 17 or longer. So that may take that last skein of yarn to do that. So I'm just going to plop that right on the floor because it's a ball of yarn. It'll roll around. It'll be fine. You put in, like I said, the buttonholes as you knit along. It's really super easy. You just have to count the number of rows so you know what row you're on. And then you just put in the buttonholes as directed. It's super easy. I highly recommend it because it goes fast. Like I said, the Hue and Me is on sale right now. Even without the coupon, $3.99 for an $8.99 yarn is a good price. And with my coupon and tax in New York State, it came out to be $27 for all the yarn that I bought. And I might not even use all the yarn I bought. I'm not even sure. So we'll have to see. Because I have partial skeins over here that I have to use up. And then I have one of this color of skein. And then I have a darker color of the skein. So what I may do is just do the ribbing in the darker color and call it good. Because it'll optically blend in with the other ones, I think. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how far I get with the yarn that I've got. I'm using, it calls for a size 10.5 needle, which is a 6.5 needle. I am using a 5.5 needle, which is a US size 9, because that's what I needed to get gauge. As you can see, I don't tension my yarn. I just grab my yarn around here. I throw it. I'm an English knitter. I knit right-handed. I can knit continental, and when I do knit continental, I do tension my yarn, but I prefer to knit this way. This is the way I learned, and I'm just okay with that. I don't have to do, I've done color work occasionally where I've carried color in one hand and the other color in the other hand, so that knowing how to do continental knitting, which is left-handed knitting, comes in pretty handy for that. I am working on this sweater. Like I said, the color is called Tara. It's sort of a brownish beigey color. I wanted something conservative because I'm going back to work in January, and I wanted to have a sweater that would be done, would be the right size, and would be appropriate for a business environment, you know, so this kind of fits the bill. It goes with everything. Beigey brown goes with everything. You can wear it with black. You can wear it with navy. You can wear it with gray. Although all my pants for work are black. It just worked out that way. So, what are you doing for Christmas Eve / Christmas / New Year's? Leave that in the comments below if you want to. Always, you can tell me what project you're working on. For Christmas this year, hopefully I am going to my aunt's. There is some question as to one of the family members came in and immediately fell ill when they got to my aunt's house. Seems to be getting better. I said, if anybody else comes down with more symptoms, anybody else in the family comes down with this, let me know. My alternate plan is to simply stay in town, and I have friends on the other side of town who are really good friends of mine that would be the people that I would spend the afternoon with. They would do their family Christmas early in the morning. I would come over in the afternoon and exchange gifts, because I've already left my gifts over there. We usually exchange gifts every year. My family and I don't really exchange gifts. I did make hats for everybody this year, and except my cousin who lives in Florida, because she obviously does not need a winter hat. I think I bought a candle and some dish towels for, because those are things she can pack in her suitcase and take on the plane, and she'll use those at home. Everybody uses candles. Even if you don't light the candle, you can always take it out and it smells, and you can use it like an air freshener in a small space or whatever. You don't necessarily have to light it, because most of them are pretty fragrant. This yarn is okay to work with. It does dry out my hands a little bit because it is so acrylic-y. I do use lotion with it. I have two kinds of lotion. One has goat's milk in it that I got from Cracker Barrel. I can't remember the brand. I want to say it's Diacenis or something like that. And then the other one is a Bath and Body Works hand cream that has cocoa butter and shea butter in it. And I did not grease up my hands before I started knitting, so I'll probably be greasing up my hands afterwards, after this knitting session. Following that, I have a extended family Christmas on Saturday with my mother's side of the family. For those of you who don't know, my mother passed away 18 or 19 years ago from 19 years ago from cancer. But I have cousins on that side of the family. I don't have any siblings, but I have cousins on that side of the family, and I have one aunt left. That's the aunt whose house I'm going to on that side of the family for Christmas. But one of my cousins hosts a extended family Christmas. We do a gift exchange where you bring one gift, and then we play a game where you can steal a present. A present can be stolen up to 3 times. The person who ends up with it is the person who ends up with it. I think the only person who is allowed to steal that present the 3rd time is if you got in a case where you were the number 1 person and everybody stole your present, you're allowed to steal a present again or something like that. The rules are pretty much, we pretty much all know the rules, and everybody deals with it every year. I think it's a $15 or $20 limit. This year I bought 3 candles when Joanne had a sale, and they were $5 a piece on a daily drop, and I had a free shipping coupon because the candles were sold out of the local store. So I have 3 candles that are 3-wick candles, so they're pretty nice. So that is what I'm doing for Christmas. I do not know what I'm doing for New Year's. I may just be staying home. And then I have a furnace tune-up that Friday. And then I start work the next week. So, yay me. Back to work. It's going to be earlier mornings than my other job was by like half an hour, but I get out an hour earlier. It's a shortened lunch hour. I'll only have half an hour for lunch, which is fine. I don't eat that much anymore because of the surgery. I had gastric bypass surgery. I am over 75 pounds difference in weight since January. I had the surgery in September, but I had lost like 50 pounds before surgery, and then I've lost about 28 since surgery. So I've lost a total of like 78 pounds, 78 pounds, which is really phenomenal when you think about it. I haven't done all that much exercising. I've got to up that exercise to be in better shape, more sustainable energy levels. I'm sure I'm going to drop more weight as I go back to work and get in the rhythm of things where I'm not sleeping, so much at night. I've been sleeping 10 hours at a clip. So I'm probably going to be going to bed much earlier than I have in the past. The volume of projects will probably decrease because I'm not going to be sitting around all day watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. I did do computer classes while I was on unemployment. I finished 3 computer classes for Microsoft 365 in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So that was good. That was about 3 to 4 weeks of classes, all done online. So I needed to refresh my skills, which will be helpful in the new job. I am looking forward to going back to work, to be honest with you, just because I feel like I'm sitting at home and I'm not contributing anything, and everybody else in my life is going to work. Nobody in my life is retired except older friends of mine who are like Facebook friends or the neighbors that I've known since I was a kid, because I've lived in the childhood home. I am working on the sweater for myself. I feel good about it, that I can make a smaller size, that it'll be the right size. There's still some other sweaters that I've been hanging on to. I gave some sweaters that I had made to Goodwill. I figure somebody's going to walk in there and be like, hey, here's a homemade sweater and it looks pretty decent, and I got something for the holidays that's homemade that would probably cost me $60 or $70 if I bought it off of Etsy. And people going into Goodwill, actually I gave it to the Rescue Mission. The Rescue Mission, the thrifty shopper around here, supports the homeless, because that was where I was buying some of my clothes from, because I'm going to change sizes rapidly. So I needed to buy some clothes that were good clothes for work from the thrifty shopper, so that I had decent clothes for work. I bought some pants from Walmart. I bought a couple of pairs of pants from Lane Bryant when they had a buy one, get one 75% off sale. But even those, after a while, I'm going to have to buy a new set of pants. I do have leggings in a smaller size that I accidentally ordered. That'll be for probably about 10 pounds from now. 10 to 15 pounds from now, I'll be able to fit in those leggings, and I'll have to buy almond pants. But we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I can just get a belt and wear the pants that I've got for a while and get some use out of those. And it'll probably take me a while to lose that next 10 pounds or so. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know what my ultimate weight loss goal is. I really don't have one. They told me how much I could lose, but whether or not I lose all of that or whether I lose more is kind of dependent on me, my eating habits. They're going to be upping my nutritional intake so that I can eat a little bit more food at each sitting. I don't know whether or not I'm really going to do that because when I eat a lot, I have problems. I know I can't drink chocolate milk. That was an experience in itself. I went to the store the other day, was buying a little bit of groceries, and I bought like a 12-ounce container of chocolate milk and thought, I'll drink that on the way home. That'll be a good idea. I haven't had chocolate milk in forever. I love chocolate milk. Let's have some of that. Let's not. I got home. I had to take anti-nausea medicine. I have anti-nausea medicine that I've had to take very little of because I've done what the doctors told me and I don't eat. You take a bite, you wait 3 minutes, or you drink something and you wait 5 minutes. You give that food and drink time to digest. You don't drink at the same time that you eat because you want that food to be digested properly and not washed away by the liquids. So I am just trying to keep track of rows in my head, pardon me. So I've been doing that very well, but needless to say, I had to take an anti-nausea medicine. Then I had to lay down for about 10 to 15 minutes just until that was like out of my stomach and was further down the digestive tract, because I was like, whoa, apparently my body does not like chocolate milk anymore. I've gotten used to the nutritional high protein shakes that are thinner in consistency and they don't have the high fat in them like the milk did. The milk was whole chocolate milk. I should have gotten low fat chocolate milk, but I don't think they had any. I probably shouldn't have gotten the milk to begin with. So I won't do that. I won't make that mistake again. I can eat cheese just fine, which is strange. I like cheese. And the other day I was at Aldi's and got goat cheese and whole wheat crackers. That is a good snack or a good lunch. You would think of it as a snack. I think of it as lunch. Like 6 or 7 crackers with goat cheese on them is a lunch for me. A little bit of turkey deli meat and a few cubes of cheese is lunch for me. A thing of yogurt or a thing of cottage cheese is lunch or dinner for me. I have chicken salad that's in individual servings that I use. That's really nice because it comes in the right size. I can't overeat from that. You're done with it, you throw it away. I have cooked chicken that I microwave and have that. So it's a little bit of varied diet, but generally the same things over and over again. And I don't tire of that because I'm used to that flavor and I'm used to that consistency. So it tends to work really well for me. I may be going out to lunch with a friend today. He wasn't feeling that great last night and he's not feeling that great this morning. So he's going to wait for a while and see if he starts to feel better. If he does, he'll go out with me. If he doesn't, oh well. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going out just for the sake of going out. I can stay in and knit and crochet today. I've got holiday movies I can watch. I'm planning on watching A Christmas Story tonight on TBS. That comes on, I think, at 8 o'clock. Or I may wait and watch that tomorrow evening. Depends. You know, I want to watch it sometime. I know it'll be on. And I don't have to meet my aunts first thing in the morning because they're doing a gift exchange with the little one early in the morning. They'll do stockings and breakfast and everything like that. I'm coming in for like the lunch portion and the afternoon portion of it, and I'll stay for a little while and then probably come home, you know, before it gets dark. She's only about an hour and 15 minutes away from me, so it's not that bad, and it's one road all the way there, and then I turn down one road. So it's literally, she lives near Verona, New York, where the Turning Stone Casino is. And I live the other end of Oneida Lake. So basically you travel along Oneida Lake to get there. Really easy to get there. So in the new year, I will not be buying yarn. I know this is a loaded subject for a lot of people. Because last year I said, oh, I'm not going to buy any yarn. And I waited for a while, and then yarn went on sale and I bought yarn. Well, this year I can't afford to buy yarn. I've got to build up. I have a hospital bill I have to pay from the surgery that was unexpected. There was a liver biopsy that was not covered by my insurance, and I just found out about it, and I got a final ruling on it. I can still appeal the ruling, but chances are that is not going to be a kind bill. So I am not buying yarn. I have totes and totes and totes of yarn. I have this shelf, these shelves full of yarn. I have another shelf on the other side that you can't see that is full of yarn. I have bags that are full of yarn, 2 bags here at my feet. One that's full of Bernat blanket yarn and one that's full of Woolies Thick and Quick. So I have yarn for hats. I have yarn for blankets. I have a lot of Bernat blanket and a lot of Bernat baby blanket. So that will definitely be playing into my plans for the new year of not buying yarn. You know, unless somebody mysteriously gifts me money for yarn, which may even be, I may retroactively say, you gave me money for yarn, it's going towards my hospital bill instead. Because I've already bought the yarn with the money that I should be using to pay my hospital bill that I didn't know I was going to have. I'm a little bit upset about that. I thought it was going to be covered by insurance. It was not covered by insurance. There's nothing I can do about it now. But I have a lot of puzzle yarn. I have a lot of sock yarn. I have a lot of Bernat blanket yarn. And I have some worsted weight yarn, like this Rave. I have 3 balls of that. I could probably make a blanket out of that. Probably a corner to corner blanket. That would be kind of cute. Or something like a hat and scarf set or something. What are we on now? Oh, we're on about 28 minutes. So, sorry, I didn't want to put my tale of woe in there, but just to let you know why I won't be buying yarn. I mean, I want my dining room back. I want my living room back. I want my bedroom closet back. And if I can use up this yarn that means in 2026, I would buy yarn. By the way, I went through Ravelry. I did not document each and every project on Ravelry, but I documented a lot of them. The latest round of hats I did not document. There were about 6 hats that I made that I did not document because I thought it would be kind of boring to do that. I did, however, document every blanket that I made this year, and I counted them up, and I made 50 blankets this year. 50. That is not counting the one that's on the hook right now, because that'll probably be finished in the new year, I would imagine. It might get done earlier, it might not, I don't know. But that includes baby blankets. So sometimes that was only 2 skeins of Bernat blanket. I make a ripple blanket out of 2 skeins. I used Bernat blanket for a lot of my blankets because it works up quickly and it makes a nice blanket that's very easily washable and dryable. I use the puzzle, the Premier Yarns puzzle, to make baby blankets. I do always a corner to corner because I'm really good with that. Let's get some more yarn here. I'm running out of yarn, so I've got more yarn to use. Once I run out of this, I have about that much left, and then I have another partial skein that I can use up, and then I have another partial skein, and then I have the full skein of the same color, and then I have a skein that is a different color. So I think 50 blankets was a good achievement. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do all that many this year because, like I said, I will be going back to work, and there were from September 17th to January 3rd, I will have been out on unemployment. So I had lots and lots of time to crochet and knit. Generally for the blankets, I do crochet them. I find it goes faster. It's easier for me to do, and it's just that simple. What I'm doing here is I have about this much of a tail left, maybe 4 to 5 inches. I'm taking 2 skeins, the 2 skeins, overlaying them. One end is here, one end is over here in my other hand. I'm going to knit 3 stitches together with 2 of them, and then I'm going to have tails to weave in at the end, but I'll have knit. Actually, I'm going to catch one end of this in as I go, so I don't have to weave in a whole bunch of ends. I have tried to weave in my ends as I go along, so I won't have terrible amount of ends to weave in when I get to the end of this project, because that's the thing I always hate when you get done with a project and you have to sew things or weave in ends. Now with a top-down raglan, the way this is done, you pick up the in the directions they tell you to knit the body and then come back and pick up the stitches for the sleeve. But what you do is you've knitted down to here, which is the armpit, and then they have you cast on so many stitches for the body, and then when you pick up for the sleeve, you pick up at the top of the stitches, and then you do decreases down to the ribbing. So I did decreases at the bottom. You can see that slight angle is the side with the decreases. I chose to do the armholes after I had completed about 5 rows of the body because I wanted to make sure I had enough yarn for the armholes. That's why I have 2 partial skeins, because I knit one sleeve with one skein and one sleeve with another. I did that so I would only have 2 ends to weave in and not multiple ends on a sleeve. So I think I did pretty well today, explaining to you what's going on, my plans for the new year. I may or may not do a video next week. If I do, it'll probably be wearing the sweater. I have ordered buttons for the sweater. They are plastic buttons that look like they're leather. I went to Joann's and looked at buttons. Couldn't find the size I need because I needed at least a 1-inch button. And Amazon had these plastic buttons, 12 for $8. I don't need 12 buttons. I probably will only need 7 or 8 of them by the time I'm done. So that is good. I'll have 4 buttons left over for something. Even if I don't use them, at least I have them around. I can use them for a jacket or something like that. I won't be making any more sweaters out of the yarn that I have. It'll probably be mostly blankets, because that's what I knit. That rainbow Super Saver yarn, I don't even know if I'm going to keep that. I may give that to a friend. The Bitty Stripes that's in Crayon Box, I may keep that for a blanket. I don't know. I could always make a blanket with that, but it's Super Saver yarn, so it's not the greatest feeling yarn either. And I thought about making a sweater out of it, and the more I'm like, I don't need a giant rainbow sweater. I already have the crochet sweater, which I am going to fix that sleeve. I figured it out finally that the only part that I really need to fix, I don't need to fix the ribbing part of it. It looks fine the way it is, but I'm going to take the main seam that's underneath the arm that, if you remember, I sewed the left arm inside out accidentally. I did that with slip stitch. So all I have to do is cut one end of that yarn, unzip that sleeve, turn the sleeve inside out, and then slip stitch it closed again. And I have enough yarn left over that I can do that. So I will have 2 sweaters for work by the time I get done, which is fabulous. It won't have to be an around the house sweater. So I'm done with this row. I think what I'm going to do is cut this session right now. And like I said, if you've made it all the way to the end, great. Merry Christmas, Happy Solstice, Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. If you don't celebrate anything, have a good day. And I hope that you have enjoyed this WIP session. Have a great week, and I hope you knit or crochet something because it is good for your mental health.